Should be a no-brainer to provide medical care to a newborn baby who has survived the horror of an attempted abortion. It turns out that Democrats apparently have absolutely no soul on this issue. In fact, Democrats actually voted against a bill this week that would protect these children from being murdered outside the womb. I've got the names of the leading Democrats who refuse to protect the life of a child, and I'll give them to you coming up. And apparently, it's open season on conservatives. You wear a MAGA hat, or otherwise even let people know you're conservative, and guess what? You might actually just get assaulted. So where is the media on this story? It seems like they had a whole lot to say when they thought Donald Trump was going to inspire Republicans to get violent. I'll take a look back down memory lane to remind you of the hypocrisy of the media on this issue. And finally, while Bernie Sanders is trying to sell people that socialism works in 2020, and that's why you should vote for him, the people of Venezuela are dying under an evil dictator in their socialist country. Plus, why is Bernie so afraid to release his tax returns? I've got all of that coming up. Ferguson Files starts right now. This week, Senate Democrats, including every single one of them that's running for president in 2020, actually voted against a bill that would require doctors to provide medical care to newborn babies who survive an abortion attempt. Now, this might be one of the most important commentaries that I've ever done, and I hope each of you will share this with your family and your friends to help expose exactly what the Democrats did this week. Now, Democrats voted against providing basic medical care to babies who have survived an abortion. 44 Democrats to be exact. Democrats painted the bill as, quote, government overreach, taking away a doctor's ability to use his best medical judgment. But that simply isn't true. The language of the bill said that doctors would have to, and I quote, exercise the same degree of professional skill, care, and diligence to preserve the life and health of the child as a reasonably diligent and conscientious healthcare practitioner would render to any other child born alive at the same gestational age. Let's be clear, there's nothing crazy here. Nothing requiring heroic measures that the doctor may think aren't in the baby's best interest, as Democrats claim. Just the same thing that any other baby gets after they are born. But the Democrats still said no, and it's absolutely disgusting. Now, before the vote, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell shared some thoughts on the Senate floor. Take a look at this video from the Blaze.
Legislation is simple. It would simply require that medical professionals give the same standard care and medical treatment to newborn babies who survived an attempted abortion as any other newborn baby would receive in any other circumstance. It isn't about new restrictions on abortion. It isn't about changing the options available to women. It's just about recognizing that a newborn baby is a newborn baby, period.
Now, as McConnell said, a newborn baby is a newborn baby. No new restrictions on abortion were in this bill. Nothing different about options for women either. Senator Ben Sasse was even more blunt. Take a look.
I want to ask each and every one of my colleagues whether or not we're okay with infanticide. This language is blunt. I recognize that, and it's too blunt for many people in this body. But frankly, that is what we're talking about here today. Infanticide is what the Abortion Survivors Born Alive, Abortion Survivors Protection Act is actually about. Are we a country that protects babies that are alive, born outside the womb?
Born, alive, and outside the womb. Still, Democrats said no to protecting these children. Now, after the vote, President Trump tweeted his disgust. Senate Democrats just voted against legislation to prevent the killing of newborn infant children. The Democrat position on abortion is now so extreme that they don't mind executing babies after birth. The president continued in a second tweet where he said this will be remembered as one of the most shocking votes in the history of Congress. If there is one thing we should all agree on, it's protecting the lives of innocent babies. Now, President Trump is absolutely right. We should protect babies, especially babies outside the womb, who have already survived an attempted execution. What's even more shocking is that every damn Democrat running for the presidency is in favor of killing these babies after birth. Now, I think it's important to name every one of these candidates so the American people understand exactly who they are. They include Cory Booker, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Kristen Gillibrand, Amy Klobuchar, and Elizabeth Warren. They all voted to allow doctors to murder these children after they have been born. Now, these Democratic presidential candidates, even after seeing the backlash to the extremist abortion and infanticide bills in New York and Virginia last month, still decided to vote no. Every single person who has announced a run for the Democratic nomination voted no on this bill. So don't think for a second that these candidates didn't all coordinate this to make sure that the others were voting no on this bill. Having worked on presidential campaigns, I can assure you that all of them wanted to make sure that this issue never turned into an actual debate on an actual debate stage for the Democratic Party's nominee in the future. This is what candidates refer to as covering your political ass. Let's be clear. Democrats know what they're supporting, and they know what horrors they are defending. An undercover video came out last week showing a woman who is 23 weeks pregnant finding out what happens when a baby is born alive. Now, before we show you this video from live action, I want to warn you that the description of what's happening to these living babies is going to be upsetting, but I also think it's important that we expose what the Democrats are actually in favor of.
What if it was like twitching or like something like that? Like,
the solution will make it stop.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
It's not going to be moving around in the jar.
okay, the solution would make it like,
Yeah. That's the whole purpose of the solution.
okay. So like, if it looked like it was like breathing or something like that,
It'll automatically stop. It won't be able to.
it won't be a, okay. So I'm not even gonna see it.
No.
So, okay, so I mean like if that
You're
happens,
asleep, they pick it out, and it goes into our lab where they do the stuff with the jar and cleaning and all that.
okay. So what is the solution? It's just like something like toxic or something?
Yeah.
Again, all of the Democrats know that this is what is happening to these newborn babies. These leaders of the Democratic Party, who actually want to be the President of the United States of America, understand that these children will be drowned alive in a toxic solution. These presidential candidates continue to allow the murder of children, all under the banner of their Democratic campaign slogans, that this is somehow a woman's health care issue or a woman's right to choose. Thank goodness the American people seem to care about these newborn babies. Over the last 60 days, the issue of infanticide has made people care even more. Just last month, a Marist poll found that Americans were more likely to identify as pro-choice than pro-life by a 15% margin. These numbers have significantly changed since the disgusting infanticide law in New York and the proposed Virginia bill came to light. Now the same poll finds, just a month later, that no longer do the majority of Americans actually identify as being pro-choice. It's now dead even at 47-47. Now this is a massive swing of 15 points in just 1 month. After this vote, McConnell spoke again as he was visibly shaken, but he had a promise to the American people. Just take a look.
In all honesty, the fact that this legislation even needed to be written is a sad reminder of the degree to which our society is at risk of losing some crucial moral bearings. And the fact that the United States Senate could not even vote to advance this bill is beyond dismaying. But I can say this fight isn't over. Republicans will not let this stunning extremism from our Democratic colleagues be the last word on this subject.
Mitch McConnell is absolutely right. The Democrats haven't heard the last of this. Every Democrat running for president has agreed that this is appropriate to kill a child that has been born, a child that is living and breathing outside of the womb. They have put themselves on the record as saying that these children do not deserve even basic medical care. Now, it's our job now as conservatives to do everything that we can to expose to the American people the new values of the Democratic Party. I hope that you will share this video with your family and your friends.